Thank you all. And as your council, and I think I can speak for all my colleagues, this is just the beginning of this process. Tonight was the very first time that any sort of public discussion, not on Facebook, not on email, not via telephone, not in a coffee shop, but in an open government session has occurred, and that was tonight. And as our building commissioner explained, this is the beginning process, and all that information that many of you spoke of, we will be looking at. That's one thing that I say about my colleagues and myself. We will do our due diligence. Our responsibility is to preserve green space for this community, but also economic development. It is very important not only for the current residents of the city of South Euclid, but the children of South Euclid, of which I have a son, and he has a number of friends in the school district here. And I want him to come back to a community that's vibrant, that's economically vibrant, and that attracts people. So it will be a long process, and as someone said earlier, it's not a linear process. There will be many iterations of it. So we look forward to working with all of you. We look forward to having your comments. And hopefully at the end of the day, we have something that we all can be very, very excited about. Thank you very much. Open meeting closed. The next item on the agenda is legislation requested by City Council. As ordinance, the first one is ordinance 01-11. Councilwoman Goodman.
Thank you, Mr. President. Ordinance number 01-11, an ordinance amending the zoning map of the city of South Euclid, Ohio, and so as to change the hereinafter described property from its existing class R75 one-family residential district to C3 special commercial district. This will go to committee.
Fine. Planning Commission. First reading. Yes, it's first reading. No.
So, can I say a few minutes?
Please.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you for coming, and especially thank you to those who were willing to stay an extra 5 minutes to see this actually get introduced and begin its process. For those of you who don't know me, I was with Ginny Benny, one of the founders of Friends of Euclid Creek. I was the person who gave testimony when the hearings of Legacy Village happened. I have for 20 years been an environmental professional, an environmental educator. I have watched what's happened. This is 10 years later. Regulations are in place. I encourage you, if you haven't picked this up, there are many aspects to this subject. Some of them are discussed in this piece of paper. I would remind you that we can only deal with the reality that exists. First Interstate Properties now owns the South Euclid portion of this property, and we have two choices, commercial or residential. Parkland is not one of the choices. So I encourage you to stick with this process, through the whole process. Come to all the meetings. Listen and speak. And I have already, asked that many of the folks, Anna is a birder, is our birding specialist in town. And folks who have helped us on the reconstruction of the wetland are already agreeing to be involved, because we are going to get a piece of green space, a natural reserve that we have not had on that site, and we have not had access to on that site. And so I just would like you to keep an open mind and be sensitive to the needs of our city in terms of operations and finances, and see why I believe that this can be a win-win situation. And read my notes, and I believe my number is on here if you have any questions. Thank you, and thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you.